All right, y'all, so we're back at the new planting area here at Mary's. Oh, wow. I see our resident deers. Yeah, like I said before, there's definitely family that lives here in the back. And they definitely make their presence known. There's a lot of deer pressure here, a lot of deer browse. But anyways, let's get into this new section. I haven't really done much to this section this summer. I've just been busy running around different properties. So this is going to be a good video because I'm going to do some managing today of mainly this hedge kind of thing. But we'll go into the summer plantings. You can see a lot of cucurbits on the ground. When in doubt, plant cucurbits for the summer. They just do a good job of sprawling out and producing something. It's been a rainy season so far, thankfully. Sometimes that could be a bad thing for cucurbits, but I'm pretty sure everything that I planted here in terms of the squash and cucurbits are resistant to hot, humid conditions. So yeah, you can see some sort of Seminole pumpkin or some sort of squash or something like that. I'm not sure what it is. A lot of okra here. The ants, unfortunately, really favor the okra, the fire ants. I'm not sure why. So they're crawling all over right now, which is a bummer. But beautiful red okra. This patch, I kind of did it like a patch of one thing, a patch of another thing, a patch of another thing. So yeah, okra was the main one for this bed. Of course, the pineapples are starting to make their way, as are the nopales. Here's another patch. Try to do cucumbers. I think they're starting to take, which is good to see. Good to see that cucumbers are doing somewhat decently in this crazy rain. Some more okra, of course moringa. It's a little patchwork of different things. You can see the deer though have been going crazy on a lot of things. So it's more than anything a learning lesson for me to see what the deer choose and what they don't choose to eat. So some places not as filled out as others. Here we got watermelon starting. And then some other squash right behind it here. So watermelons are a good thing to plant during the summer just because you just never know. They can do good, they can do bad, but seed is cheap. And they sprawl on the ground, and yeah. Sometimes when it's super rainy, sometimes the watermelons kind of end up watery and bland, but still super refreshing, especially in refrigerated. Here's a nice okra patch. I think they're just starting to come on now. This is the Clemson spineless, most likely. So a lot of okra. Okra's easy. This is the winged bean. Took to this trellis really nicely. I've heard that they do well in the summers, so we'll see. Already starting to see a little bit of yellowing, but not too worried about it, honestly. This is just a big experiment. It's not commercial or anything. More of the red okra. This is the, I forget what it's called, burgundy red or something like that. So really nice. Some doing better than others. I did somewhat fertilize these beds with old worm castings. Millipede castings, but nothing crazy. As you can see, some beds are struggling more than others, but another watermelon. Good to see. I think these are all sugar babies, so we'll see how they hold up. A lot of moringa. Of course, I do moringa a lot. Can never go wrong with moringa. Some more watermelon. I did the watermelons. This is kind of the pattern that I ended up on. It was like an okra every couple of steps, okra, and then in between a moringa or some sort of other tree. And in between that, or on the ends, cucurbits, so that they can use the walkways to spread out onto at the very ends. And yeah, I kind of liked this pattern. Not too dominant on any one thing. Obviously the okras are pretty dominant, but you can thin them out if needed. So yeah, that's kind of the same concept. Okra, long-term tree in between, and then in between that, I even put other stuff, I'm pretty sure, but I think the cucurbits are just starting to take over. So let's see. I'm sure on some of these I put little peppers. I've been noticing that peppers are pretty easy to do from seed. So we'll see. I know I did like some Jimmy Nardellos and some shishitos, but maybe they're just kind of getting lost in the sauce a little bit. I'm sure I'll find something. But yeah, so same sort of deal here. I think there's eggplant here, so you can, just to prove, I mean not to prove, but just to sort of show that I do have veggies down in there. So I might have to clear up some light for them, or see whichever ones are doing good and choose those. Definitely gonna have some weed pressure here, considering we do have overhead irrigation. But this is another kind of cucumber that I'm glad to see doing very well. I really did not expect anything from cucumbers, but decided to try it. Another beautiful cucumber. Forget, I did a couple of varieties. Well, I even messed around with tomatoes over here. I forget which variety, but they're just now starting, which is cool. And then of course I did a backup of Lucana, just because I had tons of seeds, and if all else fails, I know the Lucana will come up and be a good tree. Oh, nice size watermelon, watermelon over here. So a good experiment on the watermelon. Never know with summers, but so far so good. Seems like a lot of these watermelons took pretty quickly too, and didn't waste any time bearing fruit. So pretty impressed, not gonna lie. Okay, but the main thing is the main managing is gonna be here. So castors I went pretty hard with. You can see starting to compete with this papaya. So a lot of the castors are gonna get managed. That's pretty much it. So definitely nothing really beats castor in terms of growth speed. So the plan was for the castors to do what they're doing, shade things out, and then I'll come in and make space for the papaya, for the moringa, for anything else that's down in there. So castors, totally amazing, but definitely you have to stay on top of them. So I did an experiment to see which whatchamacallit. Did a lot of China berries here too, which is good. To see what would work better, cotton or castor. And in terms of quick growth, castor by far is the winner, but I think I'm gonna be leaning towards cotton for the long term, because cotton isn't hollow. The thing about castor is that it is hollow in there, that's why it grows so fast. It just doesn't have that ruggedness sometimes after you keep chopping it over and over and over and over again. It's a rugged plant, don't get me wrong, but I think I might end up wanting to have cottons be my longer term primary succession species. But we'll see. Look, the cotton's already starting to flower. Super cool, amazing flower. So we'll see. I'm not really stoked about how short it is, but might just opt for the moringa, honestly, because moringas are already starting to want to pop through there. Moringas are probably one of my favorite trees ever, so always fine with just choosing the moringa. This variegated sea hibiscus, the maho or whatever, is starting to come back to life. So yeah, you can see more of the same. Just a lot of castor, and a lot of moringas wanting to pop through. So, and then these flags are for, oh, there they are, little ice cream beans. So hopefully we'll have a long-term legacy of ice cream bean here. Definitely some bananas, but for now the managing will just consist of the castor beans. So I'll go ahead and get that and knock that out, and then you'll see the difference of things getting freed up underneath the castors. Oh yeah, I'm also going to be managing the jack beans. Really like jack beans on the side. They kind of do a good job of like hiding things from the deer. So if you have jack beans on either side, would be ideal. But they do eventually tendril their way in to systems. So if you can get a jump on them now, then that's probably better, so that they remain more compact. But yeah, definitely deer have been going crazy, but that's part of this gig here at Miri's, is the coexistence with animals. So all good. Definitely Jack Bean's doing a great job flanking on the edge, which is really nice. But yeah, everything's gonna get a little pruned back just so there'll be a pulse. All right, we're done with the managing. I just managed everything like I usually do. I really like Castor as the primary succession species. It was a nice little contest to see if cotton could do a little better, and I don't think the answer is yes. So I think the Castor is definitely my go-to. I really like the cotton, and in the sense that it, like I said, the material is a little bit better. It's not as hollow, but man, nothing beats the quickness of this. So anyways, or actually, I'm just gonna keep touching on that point. The way that this grows so vertically, the Castor, is what makes it so much more superior. It's able to just get, just like a eucalyptus or something like that. It's able to just shoot its way up and occupy the strata all the way up here, which is really, really nice, especially in the beginning when things are all trying to grow together, things are all packed in with each other, everything's the same height. It's nice to get a little bit of that verticality ASAP, you know. And obviously the biomass is okay. It's fleshy, it disappears quickly, but it's okay. It's better than nothing. Got some banana biomass as well. So I opted to go ahead and remove the main banana here. It's always advised to do that in these kinds of systems. Helps with the root establishment of this banana, helps it being more of a clump. So good for the long term. And then obviously it provides early biomass when not a lot of things are up to that point where heavy biomass, where it provides heavy biomass. So definitely managing bananas when they're young like this for a few months, a few years, helps with the biomass situation. And then you can think about, all right, I could finally think about harvesting now. So that's what I kind of like to do, especially in a no irrigation system. But this has irrigation, so we're fine. Freed up the papayas, lifted the papayas up as much as possible. As you can see, they're starting to make their way up, so relieving them of any competition. Sugar canes starting to get some progress on them. The moringas are amazing. They're a little bit weak at the beginning. They're a little bit wobbly. They don't like getting outcompeted, so it's important if you do a system like this to go ahead and make sure you get those moringas the light they need from the very beginning, so they're not wobbling on you, they're not leaning. So you can see, just the Castor just behaves exactly like the papaya does, just a little bit faster, and you can just really milk it out, which is nice. You can just keep making it go up top, keep producing growth hormones for everyone, and just keep the system going and stratify it very early, which is nice. Now the moringas are able to come up and still have somewhat of a little barrier here in case of, I don't know, maybe deer or like anything. You can still have this option, which is nice. Or maybe like in case of a crazy intense dry spell or something, this could kind of help with the sun, kind of, even though obviously moringa could take it, but just if you have any other sensitive stuff down there, man, this is just ideal. So yeah, can't say enough good things about Castor. Jack beans obviously is another one of those that I absolutely love. Produces nice thick biomass very early. Don't sleep on the jack. Okay, so I was saying, just don't sleep on the jack beans. They're very crucial, especially when you plant them in high density. And I like to be a little bit more cautious about pruning these at the very beginning, just so that they can live their best lives, you know. But sometimes, especially in the summertime when it's hot, humid, and sometimes there's a lot of ants and stuff, I just kind of go ahead and just whack them back like a deer would. It just doesn't matter. But ideally, you would want to do it like right above some of these growing points right here. But like I said, you know, whatever, gets the job done. So yeah, everything's flanked up really nicely. The castors are little towers. China berries are just now starting to get some steam. Mulberries are getting decimated by the deer, as is the Mexican sunflower. Really interesting. Very healthy deer, very well-fed deer, it seems. It's really crazy that they're pounding the Mexican sunflower. Kind of cool, actually. That makes me think of just that idea that I have in my head of like managing state parks and stuff, but also adding plants that will benefit wildlife. Really would be really cool to see a project like that down the line. Anyways, a little bit more of the rows, same deal with the castors, limbed all the way up, getting sunlight in. The deer have been wreaking havoc on the pigeon peas as well, but some of these are escaping them, so hopefully they'll come up. But for the most part, the moringas are the key. When all else fails, I just have the moringa be a little legacy, temporary legacy for when the long-term trees like this ice cream bean or any mangoes or any loquats or anything else that I want to put in here, they're just going to be, you know, they're going to be a hardier version of the castor beans. So having moringa is just such a nice little thing. Oh yeah, I wanted to touch on, I did the same thing here, cord out the middle so that these pups can thrive and more energy can be put into the roots. And I didn't do it for this one yet because these pups aren't quite up to size like I want them to be. I want them to look really nice and beautiful and have like a clear sign that they're going to do well, and then I'll go ahead and take this down. So then this is the place where I put castors, and after that I experimented with the cotton. So like I said, the cotton was nice, but not as quick as the castor. It seemed to be more, I planted like 2 or 3 seeds per sort of every couple of inches, you know, and every foot maybe. And you can see like most of them, I didn't really do any limbing up. I did a little bit to experiment, but it seemed to be the best to just, you know, do the sacrificial lamb method, boom, and go ahead and just chop one off. And yeah, you can see very good. The quality of the biomass is better than castor for sure, but it just doesn't have that growth pulse that castor has. So and the moringa is already catching up to it, so I'm curious to see what's going to happen here. But I'm definitely gonna leave this in and just experiment with it. I think it's very important to make sure you have some sort of Malvaceae in your system at the very beginning. I think that's a big reason why Caesar weed is so bad out here. It's like Mother Nature is making sure that she has her Malvaceae locked in, you know? Or a Malvaceae analog, which is what the castor bean is. I don't think it's technically a Malvaceae, but it behaves very much like it. I've been seeing a lot of ant activity on Malvaceae in general, whether it's like the hibiscuses or the okras. I wonder if there's some sort of symbiotic relationship there that helps. Like, I think my phone is low on storage, so excuse the little editing interruptions. Anyways, I was just saying Malvaceae are super important in any fast-growing broadleaf sort of plant analog. So yeah, same sort of deal. These bananas, I should cut this one back more. These are sacrificial bananas. I'm not really interested in doing anything with these other than biomass. So there's a few of those that are showed down there that I'm actually interested in, but these are the ones that we have plenty of. Yeah, you can sort of see, like I said, the moringas and the cottons kind of like in the same place in life almost. Here's a papaya doing its thing, and yeah, I think that's pretty much it. More than anything, I just wanted to show the castors how important they are. Here's some more. Like I said, this is how I like to keep these sacrificial bananas when they're young like that. I'm not even messing around. Just get the biomass down on the ground is the most important. This is a little bit younger over here, so you can see the castors aren't as high, but you can see they're They already provide a function. So again, my main sort of long-term thing is the ice cream beans here. They're all coming up from seed, beautiful, and they have a nice, resilient little channel here with all these castor beans protecting them. And then of course, I'm gonna plug in other trees down the line as I figure things out, you know, what we want to put. Here's some more of the beautiful cottons. So yeah, I really like the cottons and the castors as the beginning, and can't stress how important it is to have a plant like this that acts like this in the beginning. Got some leucaenas down there as well, just in case. I really like leucaenas. I don't like having to stay on top of them because they do set seeds very quickly. But I do like them. China berry as well. So yeah, that's it. I think that's all I'm going to show. This sorghum's Sudan grass patch has been doing amazing. We've already chopped it back like one major one and then a half of one because we ran out of gas here. But yeah, it's doing really well. So sorghum Sudan grass is a winner for lazy cover cropping. And then over here we haven't done much yet. The summer has taken over and I just haven't had enough time. We just poked some cassavas in, some chayas in, some pineapples in, and that's about it. We're gonna wait until fall/winter to do some veggie stuff here. Put some pineapple guavas in. I don't think they're gonna do too much, but we'll see. All right, well, that's enough. Peace.